4 factors of economic growth. Countries have limited resources, which is an example of what? Scarcity. There are 4 factors of production. Investing in these increases economic growth. The 4 factors of production are natural resources, human capital, capital goods, and entrepreneurship. These 4 factors determine a country's gross domestic product, or GDP, for the year. Let's take a look at the first one, land or natural resources. Sometimes these are called gifts of nature. They're very important to countries because without them, countries must import the resources they need, which can be very costly or expensive. Countries that have a lot of natural resources can produce goods and services cheaper than a country that has to import natural resources. If a country has many natural resources, it can also trade them with other countries and make money for the economy. Human capital. It's the training and education of a nation's business or labor, or the workforce. Nations that invest in the health, education, and training of their people will have a more valuable workforce. Examples are computer, reading, writing, and math skills, talents in music, sports, or acting, the ability to follow directions, the ability to serve as group leader, and cooperate with group members. A country's literacy rate impacts human capital. Remember, literacy rate is the percent of the population over 15 that can read and write. Third is capital goods. Capital goods are the factories, machines, technologies, buildings, and property needed by businesses to make their goods. For example, tools, equipment, factories, technology, computers, machinery. The more capital goods a country has, the more goods and services they are able to produce, which means a higher GDP. And fourth is entrepreneurship and economic growth. People who take the risk to start and operate a business are called entrepreneurs. These people risk their own money and time because they believe their business ideas will make a profit. Entrepreneurs create jobs and lessen unemployment. The more entrepreneurs a country has, the higher the country's GDP will be. Well, how is economic growth measured? It is measured using GDP, or gross domestic product. This is the total amount of goods and services produced in 1 year within a country. And economic growth is a measurement of a country's GDP, or gross domestic product, from 1 year compared to another year. For example, if a country's GDP is in 1 year is $16.7 trillion, and then the next year it's $16.8 trillion, then that country had economic growth because the GDP increased from 1 year to the next. Gross domestic product. GDP shows how rich or poor a country is. It's a measurement of wealth. It shows if the country's economy is getting better or worse. Raising the GDP of a country can improve a country's standard of living.